Do they shag through the fence?
Must.
What?
I think they write each other love letters. It's really cute.
There's two spectrums here. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Boneyard Arcade Podcast. As always, I'm Lucky.
I'm Chloe.
I'm Grim.
And I'm Josh.
Welcome back. We're all a little bit sleepy. Some of us have been over sleeves. Some of
Over sleeves.
over
Sleeves.
sleeves.
That works. I like oversleeves.
Go over.
It's
I
okay,
can't.
honey. You jet lag, Joshi. You jet lag.
Little
What's
bit.
my excuse?
No, I'm not even.
You're just cute.
That's not. I was gonna say. How's everybody doing?
Yeah, good.
Yeah, good.
My life is consumed by Game of Thrones right now.
I can tell a little bit by the what's going on down in the
The
titty. I was trying to come up with like a really clever name for it, and I'm like, it's titties.
You're sleepy, honey. Just it's okay.
Down in Titty Town.
Titty Town. I like that. Cleveland. That's an actual place, but it's.
No, I like what
No,
what you did there.
No, I can appreciate it. I support you, darling.
Stop.
I was trying to think of a name from a place in Game of Thrones and then referring tits to it, but I don't watch Game of Thrones enough.
Yeah, I was like, me too. I was like,
So,
make
no,
a funny pun, and I'm like, I got nothing. So you've been all up in the Game of Thrones.
Yes,
I think
I'm the land.
you're the only one out of the four of us that watches it.
Well, I make Dan watch it sometimes.
Yeah, I like tune in and out a little bit here and there. I tune in for the bits that seem like they're going to be interesting.
Right.
I started watching the whole, when Game of Thrones came out, I started watching it. And I think we got through maybe 6 episodes. And by the 7th episode, I was like, I can't fucking keep up because I'm forgetting where people come from, who's fucking who, because
It's all going
are
on.
they brothers and sisters? I don't know. Are they part of the same family? Doesn't
Are those
matter. They're
people
all fucking,
related? It's like, look, that information does not matter.
Yeah.
in
I mean,
Game
if
of
they
Thrones.
are, it probably increases the chances that they are boning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. I'm looking at it
It's
going
just the reality of the situation.
I'm confused.
Not
And
here
then
to
there's
judge.
super important people who are super important, then they die the next episode, and I'm like, well, fuck.
Wait, what? What is my marker for
Yeah.
this now? It's like I have no point of reference. Isn't that person like the king? It's like, yeah. It's like,
he was.
well, fuck.
Yeah, I only just learned his name and where he's from and what he does, and now he's dead, and I gotta pay attention to his girlfriend, who was also his sister's mum, and it's just.
No, you called him Fred Flintstone the whole way through season 1. You didn't even bother to learn his name.
Yeah.
What was his name? Which who was this?
Baratheon. King Baratheon.
I don't know. He was Fred Flintstone in the Flintstones movie.
Which one? The really shitty old 90s one?
No, not the good one. The other one.
Wait, what?
Now you're getting confused.
The rubbish 90s
It's
one.
not the
Yeah,
Vegas
not
one.
the good one.
Wait. How many Flintstones?
Oh wait, it
movies
was the
are there?
Vegas one, wasn't it?
There's 2. The
With-
one where they go to Vegas.
And he's Fred Flintstone in the Vegas one, right? And then it's
wait.
John Goodman in the regular one.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah?
know.
See, this is what Game of Thrones feels like to me.
So was it John Goodman?
No,
Wait, was it
it's the
John-
other one.
No, the guy in Game of Thrones.
No,
What the
it's
fuck
the
is
other
happening?
guy.
Oh, okay.
I almost feel like I know what you're talking about, but now I'm starting to
How?
think it might have been.
How is it?
Well,
Can't
no.
be on a new.
The thing is, now I'm starting to think it might have been a porno.
Oh god.
Wait, what? Which one? The Flintstones?
Yeah.
What?
It was like a dinosaur. It was a whole thing.
No, because I kept waiting for Betty to get her boobs out because I thought she was hot, and not in the first one, in the second one. In
Yeah, the first one was Rosie O'Donnell,
That's
wasn't
right.
it?
In the second one,
We're
That's
learning a lot tonight.
that never happened. So never happened. So I don't know. I guess it wasn't the porn, but it was.
I don't think I've seen
It was okay.
Flintstones porn.
Yeah,
And
be
No, that's just
interesting.
Joshie.
that'd be interesting. At
Don't
least.
kink shame me.
yeah, he could make your bed
We
rock.
all watch porn here.
Oh,
Yeah, Flintstones porn. It's wonderful stuff.
I don't. I used to watch. We'll talk about that later. So as the person who watches Game of Thrones here, have you been pleased? We won't. Will we spoil it?
I'll keep
I don't
it
know.
I can keep it very vague.
Okay, we'll
week
do
later.
no
It's-
spoilers.
It's basically ruined my Twitter life because I don't go on Twitter anymore at fear that there are going to be spoilers everywhere, but it's fantastic so far.
I see you drop in and say stuff and then bounce, and I'm like, Chloe said a thing on Twitter, but then she just kind of left.
Yeah,
It's like she's
and bye-bye.
blindly looking at one thing and being like, I can reply to that. Okay, I'm leaving again.
Yeah. No, even with the episode that just passed, obviously this is going to come out on the day the 4th one comes out.
Yeah.
But I think it was 11:30 in the morning when it would have just started playing on Foxtel. And then we get messages from Meg saying, do not go on Twitter. And I just threw my phone across the room. I was like, no touchy. Everyone get away from me.
Nobody talk to me. Nobody even look at me. It's just like Chloe. It's like, I don't want to fucking know.
Yeah. I've even put a ban at work because apparently I have that much power now, saying no one can say theories anymore. I don't want to know shit. I don't want expectations. I just want to be 1,000% surprised. I think my boss is afraid of me.
I think that the culture of not spoiling things is fucking spiraling and getting really out of hand, because on one side of the coin you've got people who are diehard and they're like, don't spoil this or I'll fucking kill you, and then you've got people who are like, don't spoil this or I'll fucking kill you, and then 3 minutes after the episode airs are posting memes about it because they've seen it. And so it's like, do you get that? Because you watch the F1.
I have this problem with Formula One. I was going to say, I've been dealing with this as an Australian in a time zone that does not fit with the F1 calendar for as long as I've been watching, so like 20 odd years at this point. And it is painful because, like, to begin with, back with Formula One, they didn't even air it live. Yeah. They could, but they chose not to. So they played it at like 3 a.m. So you'd have to tape it anyway and then watch it the next day. So you'd spend the whole day avoiding the news. Then, now we live in the space age and the news is in my phone. And because it knows I like these things,
it sends it to
every
you.
morning.
Yep.
I'm just like, oh, great, sweet. I'm just going to, swipe away whatever notifications came through overnight. Oh, sweet. There you go. There it is right there. First thing on my Google. Can't even go on my phone because it's going to be like, oh, yeah, do you know who crashed? Do you know who won?
Yep.
Yeah.
Spoils it every time.
Particularly at this point in time, we've got like Endgame and Game of Thrones. 2 big things that have 2 really big conclusive points coming up.
Yep.
And this whole like focus was on don't fucking spoil it for people.
Yeah.
And we had hashtags made about it and it's all over the internet. So I think the more emphasis we put on not spoiling it, the more spoiling it seems to make people make noise. And the more noise people make about it being spoiled just means it's fucking popping up everywhere.
Yeah. It's
like
when
don't react to a bully because then they get a rise out of you and then they go for it again.
Yeah.
Or when you feel sick and you're like, oh, you talk yourself into feeling sick. You're like, oh, I don't feel so good. And you're like, oh, I think I'm going to throw up. And then you throw up on your shoes and you're like,
yeah.
Happens to the best of us.
Are you okay, honey?
I'm all right. I'm doing okay.
Feeling a little sick.
I'm just having flashbacks to when my mum would always be like, don't keep, because I'd sit in the back seat of the car and I get motion sickness. I'm like, I feel sick. She's like, every time you say you feel sick, you're just making yourself feel worse. You're talking yourself into it. I'm like, is that something that you can talk yourself into? And I've decided it is, yeah.
I think you can, but I also think that was just the only thing that could be said to you as a kid. Like,
or stare straight ahead.
There's really nothing else that can be done as a parent to try and fix that situation besides tell you, nah, you don't actually feel sick. Yeah. Just be better.
That's wishful thinking.
If you were better, you wouldn't have a problem.
You throw up on the car.
Yeah, you just yak in the back seat, and they were like, "Well, fuck."
Yeah.
Pro tip, kids: if you're feeling sick in a car, puke into the air vent.
Why?
Why?
That smell would last forever.
Oh god,
it'd be amazing.
Yeah, it will.
They were just getting all the air filters and shit.
Yeah.
Oh,
You'll never, ever clean those pipes.
Or sell the car.
I just realized you were being an asshole. I like it.
No,
I thought, seriously, do you actually vomit into the air vent?
Well,
Is there
you
something
think about it. It passes
is this
it
a
away.
scientific thing?
In the moment, it'll solve your
know
problem
cars.
because it'll go in and down and away from you.
Why wouldn't you just throw up out the window like Dan does every time he's, overdone it and he's singing, Whitney Houston
I'm
on the way
not
home?
here to give
Backstreet
useful
Boys.
consumer advice. I'm here to just be a jabby little jab pot.
Mission accomplished all the time. I think what happened for me with spoilers is the more, like you said, like the more people yell about it, the more it's like, it might happen. You might hear something because everybody's just talking about it and stuff. And I remember I was like, man, I'd never want to be one of those people who fucking ruins it for somebody because that is just a dick move. But I've totally realized I've done it before. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I went into Discord and I was talking about something about Critical Role, and I mentioned a character that dies. And somebody was like, haha, I haven't seen that bit. And I'm like, get the fuck out of here. You watch Critical Role as if you haven't seen that bit. And he's like, no. And I'm like, no, really? And he's like, yeah, I haven't seen it. I'm like, oh, I was that guy. And I felt so bad. But that was like a year ago.
Yeah.
We do have the technology now as well on Discord, in case you are a part of our fabulous Discord. Shout out to you guys. With the little line things, and you can blank out messages, and you can even do it on pictures. It's sweet. I love that feature. It's brilliant. You can use it for jokes too. You can not spoil your own punchline, but the joke doesn't get separated between a million other comments. Yeah. It's brilliant.
I think that
have the
there's
technology.
Really important sort of personality trait that you need to take on as well, where you need to kind of fucking understand that you live in the modern era as well.
Yeah.
And that if you have left it, like if you haven't seen it after a week or 2 weeks of it coming out, be prepared for the fact that you might come across it.
Yeah.
But I don't think you should string anyone up if they happen to spoil it for you too.
I don't think a lot like there are people who go into like comment sections of like posts on things that specifically say no spoilers and they spoil it, and that's a cunt move. But then there are people out there who will just be talking about it like with no intention of ruining it for people, and people be like, oh, you spoiled it for me. It's like, look, person, I didn't tag it, I didn't put it anywhere under like, you know, I didn't say spoiler or anything like that. It just came up and it got, you know, we got talking about it.
Unfortunate for you.
Yeah. And it's like, it's the onus of responsibility is on both parties. It's like, if you don't want to see spoilers, do your best to kind of stay away from the places where they'll be. And if you're a person who's like, I really want to talk about it, do it in fucking private where it's like you won't ruin it for somebody accidentally kind of thing. It's like,
it's just
even
like
if the other people you've got into the conversation with are cool with it, it's like, don't put it somewhere where it can be found by accident.
Yeah. But fuck, I mean, like, if you look back, like, what, 30 years, 40 years, you had to write a letter to spoil it to a friend, you know? Like, and then after that, you had to give them a call on the phone to be able to spoil it if you weren't within the capacity of talking to each other in person.
You ride your bike over their house and you'd be like, did you see the thing? It's like, no, I haven't seen it yet. It's like, I'm going to tell you exactly what fucking happens.
It's much easier to dodge that bullet.
Yeah.
Not necessarily, because you know that, have you ever seen that episode of The Simpsons where Homer was walking out of the theater after watching Star Wars and he's like, you know,
oh my god,
spoiling it as he walks out. Somebody actually apparently was shouting. I saw it on a Simpsons page about someone was shouting about Endgame spoilers right outside of the cinema, and they beat him up.
Yeah. Knock the fuck out.
Did that actually happen?
Yeah, that's a true thing.
That's a thing. Dude got beaten up
for saying spoilers.
Yeah,
he was walking out of the cinema, just
yelling,
loudly yelling.
Oh, that's dick move. What about the woman who went to hospital because she couldn't stop crying after it?
What?
I heard a woman was hospitalized because she couldn't stop crying.
You can actually be hospitalized for crying too much?
People have problems.
I don't know, Chloe, you tell me.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
How was that broomstick ride? Yeah, that's what I thought. Did you take her to hospital? Yeah.
No, I'd say I don't know. Fuck, like, I think that the whole spoiler topic is like, like
it comes up so often now.
Yeah, it's a thing that's all over the place. It's just fucking, I don't know.
Here's something that's not a spoiler. The Sonic the Hedgehog trailer dropped.
That is a spoiler.
What the fuck? What are you talking about?
Like,
oh, right.
Ruined
a movie.
It's ruined a game.
I had the mopiest man-child last night.
No, I just think it's fucking stupid.
You seemed pretty cut up about it, actually. I'm not going to lie.
It's an annoying thing, I think. I really don't like, and this is what annoys me about things like X-Men movies as well. The source material is there.
Yeah.
They've written stories about it. You've been able to play games about these characters. They're fucking cartoons. Like, holy shit. Like, fucking...
There's so much there for you to go off. Like, how many Sonic games are there? How many Sonic cartoons have there been? How many, like, you've got everything.
It's there. There's been comics on the fucking character.
I know.
He was recently in Wreck-It Ralph, like, in digitally rendered versions.
Amazing.
It looks good
in that movie.
Yeah. I get reinventing the wheel is a thing, but when you get, like, and going back on topic now, because I've rambled about it, you know, in a roundabout way, the Sonic trailer has come out. Sonic looks like shit. Robotnik or Eggman, I hate the name Eggman. I think Robotnik is what he should have been called forever.
Yeah.
He looks like shit.
Like, with all love to Jim Carrey, obviously, right?
Well, I think he's definitely a character actor, and he's totally capable of making this character come to life, but I just don't think they've done a good job building the characters up. I think it looks like crap.
Yeah, I feel like they've kind of like, the movie exists. It's going to exist. It's going to be a shit show.
Mm-hmm.
They've not done, I don't think they've done any of the characters justice.
No.
Like, and I don't think the excuse is there that it's like, oh, we're, you know, translating an animated animal character into live action, you know, 3D render kind of thing or whatever. It's like, because look at fucking Detective Pikachu, which will be out by the time I think this podcast goes live.
Yeah.
You know, Pikachu, like, fucking, even if it's Ryan Reynolds talking, you look at it and you're like, Pikachu, fucking adorable, fluffy little mouse, such a shit, I love it. But then you look at Sonic, it's like, yeah, sure, he was a hedgehog and he was kind of meant to, like, resemble a humanoid as well. But what the fuck did they do to his proportions and the teeth? Yeah. I saw you looking that up just now.
Yeah, I needed a refresher because it didn't strike me initially as being all that terrible. Like, I don't know.
Have you watched the full trailer?
Play the games?
Probably not. I played some of the games.
Yeah.
If you watch the trailer and the fact that Gangsta's Paradise is playing.
Wait, that was real?
Yes.
Yeah, that's
the trailer.
Yeah.
I thought that was a joke.
No.
I saw. I didn't see the video, but I saw something about like Sonic running to Gangsta's Paradise, and I assume it was a 10-hour mix because everything is 10 hours.
Cooking by the book.
We could maybe make like a 10-hour podcast one day.
No. Everyone.
And yeah, I just sort of assumed that it was a meme, so I didn't bother clicking it.
It's unfortunately real.
But yeah, I guess the teeth thing, it falls into a little bit of the uncanny valley where it's like you have choices about how to humanize or cartoonify a character, especially one that's not real.
Yeah.
So maybe they could have done like what they did in like the more lower poly count video game models of Sonic, where the teeth are just one
Row.
like white,
One row.
yeah,
Yeah.
one non-distinct thing,
Yeah.
and that might work, especially if you're not doing like a whole load of smiling, teeth-baring reactions. But even still, like, I mean, I'm no artist, but I would like to see what that looks like just to work out if it's better or if they've gone the right way, and maybe that looks even worse.
Yeah, I think we saw an artist's rendition of what Sonic could have looked like if they had just even slightly adjusted the eyes and removed the teeth.
Yeah.
And he looked...
Made him not look like he's being like, pulled
he looked
apart
proper.
like a wind tunnel.
Yeah, I don't know whether it's because realistically, like I played Sonic as a kid and was a fan of the games. Like I grew up with the Sega Mega Drive, right? So I have experience like, you know, being a kid enjoying the Sonic games and that, but I never really I didn't cling on to them like I have things like X-Men, Spider-Man, Ninja Turtles, whatever else. I don't know if it's that pisses me off, just the fact that I was a fan of it as a kid, or the fact that you can make these movies with such high budgets, like let's go back and say Ninja Turtles, and then completely fuck the way the characters look when you've got so much source material that's gotten it right in the past.
Yeah.
It's like trying to reinvent it, but kind of failing real fucking hard at inventing it. And it's just like,
trying
was
to
it
do
that
something
hard?
different
Like,
with
yeah.
it. Like that one where it's like his eyes are stretched up.
Yeah.
Like Sonic has always had that look where it's like, it always looks like his eyes are just one long thing with like a furrowed brow in
Yeah,
the
yeah,
middle
yeah.
kind of thing. And but like, you look at it and like,
That distinct separation.
his
Yeah.
torso is like...
his legs are so long, but they're like wrong long because usually like he's got like pole like knobbly sticks, but
Yeah.
in this
Yeah.
they're tapered and it's fucking
it's weird.
freaky.
Yeah,
It
he
just
goes
looks like-
from thicker thigh down
Yeah.
to thin
It's
ankle.
kind of like someone got the
There's nothing
liquefy
wrong
tool
with
and didn't
thicker
know what they
thigh
were
and thinner
doing.
ankle.
Yeah. Yeah, it's even the shoes. I was like in the game he's got like high tops, or those socks roll up over the
Yep.
top of the shoe, and he's got like this, you know,
Yeah.
it's a cartoony looking shoe. And in this he's got like not even, I think even like brand name ones. Like I said last night in one of our group chats, I was like, Nike could have jumped in and thrown like, you know,
I don't
see
know
that's
if
what I
they
mean.
are.
They're bullshit shoes. Like they look like just tennis shoes, like not something a runner would even wear. Like
Some sneakers, but that was always part of Sonic's look. He had like these oversized fucking shoes,
Yeah.
these oversized huge hands
Yeah.
as well, and like tiny little stick legs, like a really like small body, and then a massive fucking head.
and
I
it
mean, if
made
you can
him-
make Pokemon who bear no resemblance to anything
yeah.
Yeah.
fit into a real world, then what did you do with Sonic? He's
But
almost
realistic-
humanoid.
He's not even supposed to look human. Like he's
No.
supposed to look
Look
like
like-
a fucking
Yeah, but he's
even
got the
in
basic shape of a human, like things that don't even bear resemblance to real things.
Yeah.
and they look more in keeping like with the reality they're
fit our
placed
world.
in.
Yeah. That's what I don't know. That's why I get like pissed off about this stuff, because I'm like, it's fucking easy. Like, look at what everyone else has done and look at where they succeeded,
And
and then look at your piece of shit that you
Yeah.
just created, and work out how much you're gonna get fucking flamed on the internet because your stuff looks like shit. Like,
I often wonder these things about like how certain things get past the panel of people who will inevitably be judging it before it reaches like a fully fleshed out idea.
who looks at it and
Like,
thinks,
how
"Fuck
does it
yeah, that's
get
gonna be
through?
mad."
How does it make it past that first step? And even if it does, how does it get past like the 10th step? Somebody out there's like, yeah, I'm investing a couple of million into this,
Yeah.
and like I'm not comfortable, you know, probably in this case 50 million into this. I'm not comfortable with Sonic looking that dumb.
yeah,
Could you make him better, please? I'm paying a lot of money.
You're gonna say, Chloe?
Well, I was just going to say that theory is almost relative because, like, I know, for example, with Warner Brothers have gotten a lot of flack for, like, not delivering what, like, they're putting multi-million dollars into.
Yeah.
And, like, say, for example, Batman vs. Superman, parts of that had to get reshot because the studio, the execs who were going to put it out there weren't happy with what was the result of it.
Really?
Yeah, so what they did was that when they reshot all of that, obviously a lot more money went into it, but that was to appease certain people's opinions of it that may not have been necessarily the people who originally put out the idea that
Right.
may have potentially made it better.
Yeah.
And then somebody else's opinion said, no, we think this is better, and then ultimately you got hated by everybody else.
Right.
So I think it's always a really hard position
Yeah.
at that point.
Yeah.
Because, like we all say we have our things that we love and we
It's subjective
Yeah.
at the end of the day.
which is really hard to say. Like it's really hard to make comment of it. But
Yeah.
yeah.
I think it's
sad.
one dickhead with an idea,
Yep.
another dickhead with a lot of money,
Yep.
and then they sat there and looked at this and went, And the Pikachu movie's coming out at around the same time, which realistically, Sonic is kind of furry. So is Pikachu. It's a fake character in the real world that's got a voiceover of an actor.
Yeah, if it
They
was
fit in
going to
the same
succeed, it would
space.
succeed in that time frame.
And the worst part about it is, and it was brought up in one of our group chats again yesterday, was that this is going to fucking make money for the people who put money into it.
Yep.
And people will buy tickets. They're going to think it's sick. It's going to have a sequel. It's probably going to have Knuckles in it saying, "Do you know the way?" at least once because
Because
you have to.
It's for the memes.
That's
You're
it.
going to
You've
meme
got to
it.
tap into that fucking market. And because that'll be in the trailer, people will buy tickets to that.
Yep.
And it's just the way it works. Like
It's meme culture. It's
yeah.
people getting a hold of things, knowing it's fucking stupid.
Yeah.
It's the downside of meme culture. Because there's a beautiful side to meme culture.
No, there's
as we all
not.
know.
No, there's
It's a
not.
wonderful time to be alive.
really, and like memes themselves, there's really quick, sharp moments of like beautiful moments where
They're
are
fleeting
like, great.
moments
yeah,
where
and then
it's
they
like,
just fuck
oh,
off
that
again.
offhanded comment, ooh,
Yeah.
great, and nobody lingers on it. But then it's like,
Yeah.
movies are like, this is just, the whole movie's a meme. Like you said, like you looked at it and you were like, I thought it was a meme.
Yeah.
That is that whole movie.
I mean, I think they done goofed.
Yeah.
But there is
Yeah,
no
yeah.
need to be upset. But it has rustled my jimmies.
I'm glad. I don't know if that's a good thing, but I'm glad.
Yeah, is that British?
I have no idea.
They're all
It's a meme.
memes.
Oh God! See, look,
It's a gorilla and then there's a lawnmower and it's like flying
I
away
love
and it
that
just
meme.
says there is no need to be upset. I don't know. I don't get it.
Oh, it's one of my favorites.
Sorry, I don't spend I work.
You
in
work in
social,
that stuff and I'm like, isn't that reactive content? Is making memes and
it's
stuff?
reactive for a split second, and then you forget
The
about it.
fleeting moment.
Yes.
Yeah, but this is a classic we're talking about. Have
I
you not
don't-
seen the lawnmower flying? People, back me
The
up
only,
here.
the only
Thank
time
you,
I've
Internet.
seen it is because Josh posts it and he laughs and
One
he
of my
shows me
favorites.
every time. He's like, I love this
It's
meme.
just so
I'm like,
dumb.
okay.
No, see, I knew I didn't fit in that space when I got into it and was like, okay, I need to get promoted fucking quick
This.
and get out of this part. Move
Make
into
the
the
memes.
next bit.
Okay, let me out. Let me live.
So-
I've discovered the joys of, just while we have a few minutes left, I've discovered the joys of a Twitter account called Perfectly Timed, Perfectly Cut Off Screams.
Okay.
And it's just like 10-second long videos of somebody doing something and like there's like a reaction and it's just them going, ah! Like that, but
Yeah.
it's like a split second of them going,
That's a tiny little.
Yeah, or-
oh wow.
like
Oh,
that kind of
wow,
thing.
okay.
But it's there's one thing where this guy was playing Minecraft and he's like, that's not something that happens in Minecraft. That's not in the game. And he's like outside this villager's house and he looks in and there's a fucking pig wearing like an apron and it's just standing in the house and he's like, the fuck is that thing? And he goes inside and it walks away from him and he walks up to it and he's like, gotta get a closer look at this fucking thing. And it turns at him
Yeah.
and it looks for a second and it fucking rushes him and he goes, ah! And it's just all videos like that. Like a squirrel jumps at a girl. She's like, oh, hey, little fella. It turns around. She's like, ah! Like
Oh
that.
my
It's
God,
like
so it's just
you know when you get
recurring.
Snapchats and you especially before it had the like rolling 10-second thing.
Yeah.
You could hold the button and it would just cut out at the end. And it's when people are doing dumb things and then all of a sudden it goes a totally different way.
They
Yeah.
fall down.
And yeah, or like when they're doing that walkie thing next to their car with
Yeah.
the
Kiki.
and then the doors auto lock because it's gone over a certain speed, and then they're like
They can't get back
desperately,
in.
yeah, like that kind of thing.
That's okay.
Just screaming,
Those
and then it cuts
kinds of
out.
things
You never see
tickle
the
me
end.
just right. I think all my screaming set the dogs off as well. I don't know.
It's easy to
Maybe
say.
they just wanna
so
get in
it's
on it.
okay.
Walked up the stairs and I saw the little one huffing and I was like, life's tough, isn't it? You
Yeah,
little fucking
That
taco
little one
dog.
is like 14 years
It's
old.
so small.
Taco dog.
and chunky. She's a little sausage. Yeah.
She's been through a lot.
She has been.
She stood on my shoe and she was like the same size. I'm like, the fuck is this?
Yeah.
She actually loves doing that lately. I like sit down and then she sits on my foot. I'm like, the fuck are
She
you
doesn't
doing?
like going anywhere. She wants to sit on your foot forever.
Stay. Leo
Yeah.
does that and you have to stay because Leo is fucking huge. He gets on top of you and he's like, you're my bed now. And I'm like, I guess so.
See, Moxie just football tackles us.
Moxie's so cute and she
She
gets
doesn't
little
realise she's heavy.
costumes.
No, she
Yeah.
doesn't. She still thinks she's like this big, but really she's like this big. So
She didn't realize she's heavy.
They all do that. Dogs think they're this big
Yep.
from the day they're a puppy right through to the point when they're as big as like a small car.
Yeah.
how does your dog not realize how big it is? It chases its own tail.
Have you seen
Yeah,
him like, jump
he
on you
actually became internet famous recently.
He went a little
yeah.
bit viral.
Oh,
Yeah.
Good.
Wow.
What do you
My
do?
sister put up a tweet of him doing something we call the crab walk,
Yeah.
where he gets his own tail, but then he like holds it and just sort of walks
Walks
away.
side-
He
Okay.
walks with it
And-
and he went inside the house. So he's
Yeah,
standing
he
outside the house. He
carries it
gets
off, he
the
just
tail and he
goes.
goes and he looks at the camera as he backs into the house with it. And I'm like,
Oh wow, that's internet.
It's somewhere. It's
Yeah.
somewhere on the internet.
That's internet.
I'm
word.
trying to
Yeah.
find that prime internet
If
right
you look
there.
up Crab Walk on Twitter, you'll
He
probably
was like
find it.
one of the first search
Yeah,
results.
and it actually was
Stupid.
getting enough traction that some, one of those like trash article making
Like
sites.
Lad Bible.
Yeah, one of those
Yeah.
made a thing and referenced that tweet and like her username and stuff.
It was
That's
great.
Oh,
If we
go
find it, we should just
Leo.
tack it onto the end of the video.
We'll make
so that's-
Actually,
a Twitter account for him.
Yeah.
Go follow Leo on the
Yeah.
It
internet.
doesn't have an account yet.
Well, we'll make one and then put it in the thing
Why
and
don't you have
go
one
follow
for
it.
your like your chinchillas?
Fuck no.
The tiny.
No.
Well,
I-
you'd have to give
no.
them names, and that would be difficult because
They
then you
have
might go
names.
attached.
Bella,
Like Grey Cat,
Bella, Lola,
Grey Cat.
Gizmo,
Yeah.
Moxie,
Grey cat and orange cat.
Toos,
Tuss.
and
No,
Quaz.
it's Grey Cat. I'm almost certain.
I don't know. I always forget it when I see it, and I can never remember which one he is.
I considered doing one for my parents' cat, but I don't think Puss Puss the cat is going to go down well.
Puss Puss will get lots of bot accounts that are just like, hey baby,
Yeah.
18-year-old
Yeah.
fun. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you'll get the wrong accounts kind of going with
Yeah.
that.
And I'm scared to create accounts for like Bella or Mox, sadly, because they're like
Old.
12.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you don't want to set up an account and then have them somehow, for whatever they do,
That'd
get
be
a couple of
so
fans in there
sad.
and then
So
have them
sad.
pass away and be like, oh, they died.
That's always sad, actually, when
Fucking want
internet
that.
animals
Yeah.
die, because you can grow attached to an internet
Yeah.
animal.
And I don't want that.
No,
So I'm like, yeah.
I did. That happened recently. One of these Sphinx cats that I like so passed away, and I was like, the Sphinx cat.
Yeah.
It's so beautiful.
And it'll probably be worse because I'll like it online and
Yeah.
start to
Yeah.
like it here at home as well. And
can't
Well,
do
that's
it.
why Goats of Anarchy is always like a double-edged one, because they're really cute, but they're also like rescue animals and disabled in a lot
Yeah.
of ways.
Why
and things
did
like
we bring the
They have-
podcast
they
to this
literally
point
have-
just as we're about to leave?
Here's a feel-good note.
With their
These goats have little
animals.
casts on, and they hop about,
They're
being
really
all cute
cute.
and
They're
being
really
their little
cute.
goaty selves, and they're having the best time.
They get
and
rescued and taken
they,
care of,
they
and
all,
it's good.
They all
Oh,
go to goat.
good. They
Yeah,
live.
happy
Yes,
goat heaven.
it's really sweet. Anyway, if you've enjoyed the podcast, remember to subscribe and follow us on all of the social media links down
Do
below.
they die too?
Dude.
Probably.
Oh my
I try to look
word.
away before it happens.
Go
Okay.
check out Ghosts of Anarchy if you like goats.
I'm not there for reality. I'm there for an escape from it.
Okay.
That's hard.
Don't think of the little goats in cast, guys. Think happy thoughts.
Think happy thoughts, like endgame thoughts. Anyway,
Every time you hit the subscribe button, a little goat is saved.
and
Well,
on that,
Metaphorically, of
One of
course.
those little cats that's back
Metaphorically.
legs don't work, so they put it in the little thingy with the wheels and it pulls itself around.
Yeah.
I've
that.
never
Technology
seen
They
that with
actually have
sausage
that.
dog.
That's on there.
Yeah.
technology is amazing. Yes,
Amazing.
go rescue animals. Okay, on that amazing disappointment. Good night. See you next time.
Bye now.
Bye.
Okay.
Why'd you have to take it to the dying things?